Welcome to another episode of the Quip Corners Book Corner. My guest author today has been here multiple times, and I always enjoy it when she's here. You'll see her bio right after this. Please join us in the Book Corner. Welcome back to the Quip Corners Book Corner, Miss Anna.
It's good to be back. I always enjoy this opportunity to talk with you about the books that I've been writing and to find out what your audience is looking for and to see if we can make a match between the poetry that I write, the textbooks that I write, but also the books that I have an opportunity to collaborate with other authors. And so this is a good platform for it, and I'm glad you're having me back. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. And, I like the way, your response came. And it's, if nothing else, it just tells us that as an author, you can do different things. You can write your own books, you can collaborate with others, you can write textbooks. So it's nice to know that as an author, a person is not necessarily stuck, with one way of writing. So thank you for doing that.
Well, one of the things is whenever I have an opportunity to work with other authors, I learn so much that it becomes a part of what I now know. And one of the things we encourage educators, all learners, that be lifelong learners.
Yes.
And having the opportunity to work with other authors helps prolong what I'm able to do. But more importantly, or equally important, it helps me to share with current authors what current authors are experiencing. And so I look forward to that.
Yes. I like, how you talked about prolonging, because the truth is no one can do life on their own. And for as much as we have the opportunity of, shall I say, extending our runway, our impact, our reach, those are things that I'm sure God wants us to, take advantage of and, make good use of all he's put in us and put around us.
Right. And one of the things that we talked about, one of the times you had me on to talk about the poetry I write about my grandmother. My grandparents lived a long time. And my grandmother always said, I don't want to rust out. I want to wear out. I want to keep going, keep learning, keep sharing, she was somebody who walked by your side. If you needed someone to talk to, someone to pray with. I didn't realize until she passed how many people I knew that she knew that I didn't know they knew. Wow. Because she knew how to keep it between the two of them. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm trying to incorporate in my coaching of other authors. If you tell me something, it's safe.
Yeah.
If I tell you something, use it the way you want, because we ask the Lord to help us to be for others what they need at the time that they call us. And so you called me today, and I'm here to share with you what I can of what I've learned from the authors with whom I've worked and with the teachers with whom I've worked.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So let's talk about your book, please.
Okay. Today I want to talk about a book that I wrote some time ago called Getting Started. Originally, it was a book. In fact, it was an update of a book that I had written after I became National Board Certified. It's an organization by the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. So many teachers were in flux from one state to the other, and were being frustrated because you get a certificate or credential or license in one state, you move, and the next state does not accept your credentials because their criteria are different. And so in the mid-90s, the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards came out with a national test with national standards. And after I had earned that, they asked me to write a book. What would you recommend for someone who is just starting to teach? And that's what I wrote, using really
Mm.
the curriculum that I had been using at a school where I had taught grades 7, 9, and 12. What would you tell a new teacher? What would you share with them? And so this book, Getting Started, is a version of that
Mhm.
that was updated in the 2019.
Okay.
And over time, I found that parents are finding this useful too. Sometimes when the children come home from school, they're
Yeah.
not sure what the instructions mean or what they say. And when teachers have a chance to read about ways that teachers teach, they can use some of the same language, they can explain to their sons and daughters, but also so often caretakers.
Yeah.
They could be teenage babysitters, they could be grandmothers, they could be after school program leaders
Yeah.
who can find getting started as a way of supporting and supplementing what they already know about
Mm.
teaching. So
Mm.
that's what this is.
Nice, nice. And, if I just think back to
Mhm.
the COVID era, definitely, this is something that every parent needs in their toolkit.
In the tool, and that's what I think it's important to have it on the toolkit. It may simply sit on the shelf until the student comes home. Mom, the teacher asked us to write something about thesis statements. What the heck is a thesis statement? Mom can pick up the book, find the chapter on writing essays, and be able to explain, explore, and help the children learn what the teacher is talking about.
Hmm.
And with so many of our families coming from homes where English may not be spoken regularly at home,
Yeah.
sometimes not knowing the words that the teacher may be using,
Hmm.
looking it up here, and then remembering, oh, when I was going to school in Saudi Arabia, or when I was going to school in um, Rwanda, the teacher called it this. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's a way for parents, regardless of their prior education, can assist their students with the education they currently are
Mm.
having. And when the children see that the moms and the dads, the grandmothers, are still consulting books to help them understand what is going on, the young people won't be as reluctant to go to a book, or as they do now, they pick up their phone as soon as they don't know a word that they hear a word that they don't know. Click, 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 click.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it mean? And I think that's a good strategy to share with our young people. It's okay not to know right now, but if you've had access to knowledge, you're responsible for getting it. And
Mm.
I'm
Mm.
hoping that this book will help them getting started as a supportive parent, whether they're their blood child or their spiritual child or whatever it is, we can help if we have access to resources.
Mm. I like how you talked about the byproduct because it is so true. Because if I see the people I look up to
Mhm,
seeking more information, acknowledging I don't know right now, but I
mhm,
can learn, I can
mhm,
pick up getting started and
mhm.
get the information, you know, the student, the child, the world will be like, so there's nothing wrong with not knowing. There's just something wrong with not wanting to know.
Correct, correct. And if parents can find strategies in this book for supporting their learners, I'm glad you're inviting me here at this time. In our country, it's near the end of the school year,
Hmm.
and students will be off school for 2, maybe 3 months. But we don't want them to lose what they learned
Yes.
over the summer, but we don't want them to forget that you need a break, but
Hmm.
not a complete break. And
Yeah.
some of the activities in this particular book will assist parents who want to maybe once a week gather together and say, what did you learn this week? Write me a story about something that you learned. But for this story, I'd like for you to use some of the same strategies that your teacher taught you last year. And
Mm-hmm.
the parent can go back to this section on writing short stories and encourage the young people to write about what they're experiencing at this time, using the strategies that they have been taught or will be taught in the next school year. And so they're still using their summertime, but based on what they're experiencing at that time.
That is such a great idea. And of course, because of the way my mind works, it just occurred to me that even in that simple use of, shall I say, transferable skills, what did you learn in
Mhm,
school? Implement
mhm,
it in writing me a story.
mhm,
There may be authors born through
mhm.
that.
Right. And in some communities, they have summer workshops and programs for young people. Generally, it's students old enough to, say, walk to school on their own or be there for extended time. And some church communities have what they call vacation Bible school.
Bible school, yeah, VBS, yeah.
And uh, the teachers may be interested in teaching the Bible, but they may not know how to
Mm,
teach. And so this is another resource that those who are working with Vacation Bible School can consider. I'd like the young people who come to the classes that I'm scheduled to teach to be able to, as you said, bring in what they're learning in school, applying it to what they're learning here. And there's a section in here also on giving oral presentations. Many such programs end with a gathering where parents and family members come and
yeah,
hear and see what the children, young people are learning.
yeah,
And if part of their preparation can be on how to give a presentation to an
yeah,
audience, who's going to be there?
yeah, yeah,
Take in consideration who's the audience?
yeah, yeah,
What's the
audience.
message?
Mm-hmm,
How do we
mm-hmm.
best get that over?
Yeah,
And if using a textbook designed for teachers in primarily teaching in grade 7, 8, and 9 can help someone during the summer working with students of any age, I'm glad that they'll consider this book of getting started teaching English language learners, teaching those who have always spoken English but have never done called academic English,
yeah,
learning that
yeah.
academic vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And and there's a section in here that talks about instructions.
Okay.
When the teacher tells you to chart what you've read, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
If the teacher asks you to describe, what kinds of words will you use to describe something? And it's
Mm-hmm.
a way of expanding vocabularies. The teacher asks you to analyze. Analyze? What in the heck does that mean?
What does that mean?
And so just going over some of the instruction terms will help the students do better because they know sooner what they're being asked to do, and then they can use the time given to do
Yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Versus, huh? What? Deer in the
Right,
headlights,
right.
no?
One of them that I think it's in this particular book, the word plot, PLOT,
Mm-hmm.
means something different in different courses.
Yes. Because you
If
can
you're
plot a
writing,
graph.
plot a graph in what, all right, you might be plotting a graph in math.
Yes.
In history, you may be plotting an uprising.
Yes.
If you're in science, you may be talking about a plot of land that you are going to garden. And so helping students to understand that words, you take in consideration the context
Text. Yeah.
where you're doing that. And so sometimes that would just be fun, getting started,
Yeah.
learning the language of academia.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So how can people get copies of this book?
Good question. All of my books are available on Amazon, but I encourage you to go to the website of Roman and Littlefield, who is the publisher of this book, because on that page you will see some of the endorsements. Who
Okay.
has thought this book is worthwhile
Mm-hmm.
and who they are, what they teach, and why they recommend the book. For instance, one of the endorsers is Carol Jago, Jago, and she's the former president of the National Council of Teachers of English. And this is what she said, and you'll see why I'm reading it. Roseboro is one of those rare individuals who makes an indelible impression on every person she touches. She knows how to work with teachers to help them see possibilities where others may only see problems. Her commitment to new teachers, the most vulnerable members of our community, is inspiring.
Mm.
Getting Started, this book, describes ways that both novice and veteran teachers can navigate the changing education landscape. Despite all of these changes, Roseboro's book offers a clear path to success. It is sure to make the world a better place. Now, I have to tell you that Carol Jago is a friend. We both taught in California before she moved and became the National Council of Teachers of English president. But she only talks about what she believes in. And the fact that she chose to endorse this book is something that you will see if you go on the Roman and Littlefield website. And I like the fact that to make the world a better place because I share. I believe that that is part of our mission
Yeah.
as educators, as mothers, and as sons and daughters of the Most High God, that what we have, we must share. And people like you invite me to share on your Quip's Corner. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, indeed. It is our mandate and our mission to make the world a better place.
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you so much, Miss Anna, for joining me in the Quick Corners Book Corner. I really appreciate it. And all that information we'll add below this video so people know where to get their
Okay.
copies of this book.
So they can go to Roman and Littlefield. They are national publishers of teachers' textbooks. And of course, they can go to Amazon and get the books. And I encourage each family to have one on hand. It may be a book that they may choose to get for a grandmother or
Mm.
a grandfather, just to have at the house when the
Yeah,
children go, uh,
yeah, yeah.
or your church educational group. Have it on hand. I think you'll find it as useful to read as it was for me to write, because one of the things I do with my books, I invite people who use the book to send me examples of ways they use the book. And so that is one of the things that you'll notice in the books as well.
Well, thank you again for being my guest. I really appreciate it, Miss Anna.
My pleasure. Talk to you next time.
Of course we
See
will.
you, sis.
Take care. God bless you, ma'am.
Same to you. Bye bye.
Bye now. Well, thank you again
Uh,
for me.
so your generosity is helping me to become a more generous person
Yeah,
with the opportunities that I have. And I really appreciate you for that.
you're welcome. You're most welcome.
Okay.
Thank
Now, how are you coming along on your book?
you. It's on the back burner. I got so many other things on the go, but um, it will get done. It will get done.
Well, if it's on the back burner, if you don't take it off and do something, it'll burn up.
Yes, I know, because
Okay.
I had
Okay.
to pause it so that I could publish my fifth book about work.
Okay.
So this is 101 quips and quotes to
Mhm.
put to work at work, the workbook.
Ah,
So
okay.
that just got published end of last month. No, end of
Oh,
March. So,
good. Oh,
so
congratulations.
yeah, so I need
All
to
right.
work on the marketing, for this
Mm-hmm.
book,
Mm-hmm.
versus
All right.
just churning out books. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Keep
it's
up
in
the
the
good work,
pipeline.
sis.
I
All
will.
right.
Thank you so much. God bless
See
you.
you
Have
next time then.
yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. See what I said? Yes. It's always a delight to have Miss Anna in the Quip Corner's book corner. In fact, in the Quip Corner, whether Quip and Convo or the book corner. A book sounds like a good reference material. So the information on how you can get your copy and copies for others is below this video. You take care. See you in the next episode of Bye now.